The sharp bite of ammonia cuts through my sinuses like a blade. It's the only thing keeping me tethered to this moment, this identity, this life I've carefully constructed with mop water and submission. I'm on my knees, halfway through the third pass on the marble floors of Kang Minjun's inner sanctum. The penthouse suite. The throne room of the ghost of Gangnam. My hands move in practice circles, the microfiber cloth leaving streaks of chemical shine that catch the late afternoon sun streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. The cloth is warm and damp against my palms. My knees ache against the unforgiving stone. I keep my spine curved, shoulders rolled forward, the posture of someone who has learned to make themselves small. Invisible. Then it happens. Not a sound. A vibration. Through the soles of my boots. Through the bones of my feet. A frequency that doesn't belong, a tremor in the building's nervous system that screams wrong. The silent alarm. My eyes track automatically to the massive mahogany desk 20 feet away. Kang Minjun sits slumped in his leather throne, head tilted slightly to the left. His eyes are open. Staring. But they don't see. They don't blink. His chest rises and falls in shallow, mechanical breaths. A thin sheen of sweat has broken across his forehead, reflecting the light like morning dew on porcelain. His hands rest on the armrests, fingers slightly curled. Not relaxed. Frozen mid-motion. My mind catalogs the symptoms in the space between heartbeats. Paralysis. Conscious. Pupils dilated. Cold sweat. Respiratory depression starting. Synthetic neurotoxin. Modified tetrodotoxin blend, if I had to guess. The kind of poison that turns your body into a prison while your mind screams at walls that won't move. Time until respiratory failure. 15 to 20 minutes. Maybe less, depending on the dose and his body mass. The monsters hadn't just reached the gates. They'd already slipped past security, walked through the steel doors, smiled at the cameras, and planted their poison in the king's morning tea. And now they were coming to collect. The cloth falls from my hand. It hits the wet marble with a sound like a wet kiss, obscene in the sudden, suffocating silence. I don't scream. I don't gasp. Those are reactions for civilians. For the innocent. For the woman named Serafina Thorne who exists on tax forms and employee records. That woman is a ghost. The woman standing in this room, heart rate steady at 62 beats per minute, pupils adjusting, muscles coiling beneath the shapeless maid's uniform, is someone else entirely. I move. 3 strides take me to his desk. My boots leave faint prints on the polished marble I'd just perfected. I don't care. Up close, Kang Minjun is even more beautiful than he has any right to be. Sharp cheekbones that could cut glass. Skin like expensive ivory. A jaw that belongs on ancient statues of warrior kings. But right now, beauty is irrelevant. I grab his jaw, fingers pressing into the rigid muscle. His eyes snap to mine, wide, terrified, furious. There's a universe of emotion trapped in those dark irises. Rage at his own helplessness. Fear of death. Confusion at the maid who's suddenly touching him with the confidence of someone used to handling bodies. Mr. Kang, I say, my voice dropping an octave, losing the soft, deferential lilt I use when asking if he wants his coffee black or with cream. You've been poisoned. A kill team is in the building. We have maybe 2 minutes before they reach this floor. I feel it again, the vibration through the floor. The elevator cables thrumming like guitar strings 40 floors below us. Someone heavy is ascending. Multiple someones. I need you to trust me, I continue, staring directly into his eyes. Blink twice if you understand. He blinks. Once. Twice. Good. I release his jaw and move behind the chair. The wheels catch on the thick Persian rug beneath his desk. Useless. I'll have to drag him. I wrap my arms under his armpits, hauling him up. He's dead weight, 200 pounds of dense muscle wrapped in a Tom Ford suit that probably costs more than my annual salary. My quads scream in protest. My lower back ignites. I grunt, bracing my hip against his thigh to keep him from collapsing forward. The smell of him hits me then, rich sandalwood cologne, old leather from his briefcase, and underneath it all, the metallic tang of adrenaline-soaked sweat. Fear has a scent. So does impending death. It's a stark contrast to the sterile sting of bleach still clinging to my hands. Work with me, I hiss through gritted teeth, though I know he can't. His muscles are locked. His nervous system has been hijacked by molecular warfare. I hook my arms tighter and begin dragging him backward. His Italian leather shoes scrape against the marble in a rhythmic shhh that grates on my nerves. Every second feels like an hour. My boots slip slightly on the polish I'd just applied. Damn it. I'd done too good a job. I dig my heels in, adjusting my grip. He's heavier than the bodies I used to dispose of back when I did field work in Busan. Usually by the time I got to them, they'd lost the water weight. Rigor mortis made them easier to maneuver. Kong Minjun is very much alive. A dense, solid heat pressed against my chest and arms. I can feel his heartbeat through his back, fast, irregular, fighting against the poison shutting down his voluntary systems. The elevator chimes. A cheerful, digital ding that signals arrival at the 47th floor. 30 seconds. We reach the false wall behind the massive abstract painting, a storm at sea rendered in blacks and grays and violent slashes of white. I don't hunt for the hidden release panel. I know exactly where it is. I'd seen him use it 3 weeks ago, reflected in the window glass while I dusted the bookshelves. He thought he was alone. He thought his maid was too busy scrubbing baseboards to notice. People always underestimate the help. I press the sequence into the hidden touchpad behind the painting's frame. Star. 4. 8. Star. Hydraulics hiss. The painting swings outward on silent hinges, revealing the matte black steel door of the panic room. Biometric scanner. Retinal reader. The works. But the door is already unlocked. Red light to green. Someone, probably Kang himself before the paralysis set in, had enough clarity to trigger the unlock protocol. Smart man. Even poisoned, he'd tried to save himself. I don't have time to be gentle. I pivot, using momentum and desperation, and shove. He topples backward into the safe room, landing hard on the industrial carpet inside. His head cracks against the floor with a sickening thud. He doesn't make a sound. Can't. But his eyes, those dark, furious eyes, lock onto mine. They're screaming. He wants me to come inside. He wants me to hide with him in that steel box. He wants the maid who just saved his life to stay safe. I shake my head. If I go in there, they'll just seal the ventilation or drill through the locks, I say quietly, holding his gaze. Someone has to sanitize the site. Someone has to make sure they don't get what they came for. I hit the red button mounted inside the doorframe. The blast door begins to slide shut with a mechanical whir. I see his expression shift from fury to something else, something unreadable. Shock, maybe. Confusion. The realization that his harmless, submissive maid isn't what she seemed. The steel separates us. Clang. The magnetic locks engage with a heavy, final thud that reverberates through my bones. Silence returns. But it's different now. Heavier. The vibration in the floor has stopped. The elevator has arrived. I stand there for a moment, staring at the blank expanse of the panic room door. My heart rate is steady. 60 beats per minute. The adrenaline isn't a chaotic flood, it's a cold, focused stream channeling through muscle memory and years of training. Slowly, deliberately, I turn my back on the safe room. I look up. Corner of the ceiling. Directly into the lens of the security camera. The red light blinks lazily. Recording. Transmitting. I know the panic room setup. I'd studied the blueprints when I took this job 6 months ago. It's a fortress, Reinforced walls, independent air supply, satellite uplink, and a wall of monitors fed by every camera in the penthouse. Kong Minjun is lying on the floor in there right now, paralyzed, unable to move or speak. But he can see. He's watching me. Good. I reach up and pull the pins from my hair. The tight, severe bun I wear every single day, the one that makes me look older, plainer, less threatening, unravels. My dark hair spills over my shoulders in waves. I shake my head, rolling my neck until it pops. Once to the left, once to the right. The submissive curvature of my spine straightens. My shoulders pull back. The maid who kept her eyes on the floor is gone. I reach for the top button of my uniform. It's a stiff, uncomfortable thing, gray polyester that smells faintly of industrial detergent. I pop the top two buttons, allowing my lungs to expand fully. I'm not stripping for him. I'm making room to move. I walk back to my cleaning cart. It looks innocent enough. Yellow bucket, spray bottles, microfiber rags. The tools of an honest day's work. But I know the chemistry of everything on that cart. I know that ammonia mixed with bleach creates chloramine gas, a compound that will burn your lungs from the inside out. I know that the heavy-duty degreaser is caustic enough to permanently blind a man if sprayed directly in the eyes. But I need something more immediate, more personal. My hand bypasses the spray bottles and goes to the side pouch of the cart. I pull out my industrial shears. 10 inches long, solid steel, designed for cutting through thick carpet, upholstery webbing, and industrial-grade wire. In the wrong hands, they're just a tool. In my hands, they're an extension of will. I test the weight. The cold steel is familiar against my palm. Comforting. I snap them open and closed. Snick. Snick. The sound is sharp. Predatory. Heavy footsteps echo from the hallway leading to the foyer. Not the stealthy tread of professionals. The arrogant, heavy gait of men who think they've already won. They think they're walking into a room with a comatose crime lord and a terrified maid. They're half right. I walk to the center of the room, positioning myself directly in the camera's view. I'm blocking the line of sight to the panic room door now. If they're watching the feed remotely, they'll see me. Not the closed blast door. I look up at the lens again. I imagine King's furious, paralyzed eyes staring back at me from the monitor. I imagine the confusion warring with terror in his mind. He has no idea who I am. He has no idea he's been living with a predator for 6 months. I grip the shears tighter. The metal bites into my skin. The footsteps stop at the double doors. The handle begins to turn. I whisper to the camera, my voice low and steady, "Don't blink, Mr. Kong. You're about to see why I'm the best at what I do. Time to take out the trash." The heavy oak double doors swing inward with calculated slowness. For men in black tactical gear, suppressed pistols, they move with wolfpack coordination. I'm already hidden behind the curtains, pressed flat, breathing shallow. I'm watching the camera, knowing Kang is watching me from his steel box. The point man steps forward. His boot hits the over-polished marble I'd waxed. Zero friction. He skids violently, losing equilibrium. That's my cue. I don't run, I flow. A kinetic equation. I reach him before his knees hit ground, slashing the shears into the soft flesh behind his knee. The popliteal artery. 2 suppressed rounds bury into his vest as the others react. I use his dying body as a shield and roll behind the sofa. Contact. The maid, put her down. I glance at the secondary camera, whispering for Kang's benefit. Standard formation. Sloppy trigger discipline. They expected a victim, not a variable. I grab my cleaning supplies, weapons in disguise. The bottle of heavy-duty oven cleaner becomes a chemical grenade. 2 assassins flank the sofa. I stand, facing the gap between them, and squeeze the trigger. Caustic mist erupts, hitting the left man squarely in the face. He doesn't yell, he shrieks. The light eats his eyes and throat instantly. He drops his weapon, clawing at his melting face. The second man turns, distracted. That split second costs him his life. I lunge, driving the closed shears into his throat, the suprasternal notch. A wet, crunching sound. I twist and rip free. Blood sprays in a hot arterial arc. 2 down. 1 blinded. 1 left. The last man doesn't panic. He backs up professionally, moving toward the panic room door. He steps into the chandelier light. I recognize him. Park, I say clearly. Park Dong-hyun. The man freezes, squinting at me. Serafina? The help. I look at the camera, pointing my blood-slicked finger at him. Do you see him, Mr. Kong? Park Dong-hyun. Your head of security. The man you trusted with your life. The man who has the override codes. The man who let them in. I can imagine Kang's heart stopping in that metal box. Park, who served him for 10 years. Park, who stood at his right hand. Park sneers. Just a maid. Boss is locked in there, dying. Once I kill you, we drill the lock. You're just a speed bump. I'm not a speed bump, Park. I'm the sanitization crew. He fires. I anticipated it, dropping to my knees, sliding across blood-slicked marble. The bullet shatters the mirror behind me. I swing my leg out in a sweeping arc. My boot connects with his ankle. Bone snaps. Park goes down hard. His gun skitters under the panic room door. I pin his wrist with my knee and jam the shears against his Adam's apple. Don't move, or I'll open your throat and let you drown in your own bad decisions. The room falls silent except for ragged breathing and the hum of air conditioning. Copper and caustic chemicals overwhelm the senses. I drag Park to the panic room door, directly under the main camera. I grab his hair, forcing his face toward the lens. He's yours to watch, boss. Want to hear what he has to say before I finish the job? Park spits blood. The neurotoxin attacks the respiratory center. He's already suffocating. You're just delaying the inevitable. I glance at the monitor. Heart rate, 42 BPM. SpO2, 88%. He's drowning in open air. I pull out a small vial from my hidden apron pocket. This is alkaline hydrolysis solution. Pour this in your mouth. It will turn your tongue and throat into soap. You'll live. But you'll never speak again. I uncap it. Chemical death wafts out. Park's eyes widen. No, wait. Director Choi. It was Choi Sung-min. He said Kong was too powerful. He offered me the Juju district. I look at the camera. Did you hear that, Mr. Kong? Director Choi. Juju territory. I step to the intercom. Boss, if you heard him, give me a sign. 1 buzz for yes. Silence. Then the room shudders. A loud, jarring tone from the speakers. BZZZZZZT. Angry. Absolute. He heard you. Park stammers, I can fix this. I have connections. Liar. There's no antidote for that tetrodotoxin blend. You were sent to ensure he died. I look at the camera. He's a loose end. Do I sanitize the site? BZZZZZZT. 1 buzz. Yes. Consider this a mercy. I don't use the solvent. I use the shears. A single, precise puncture to the medulla oblongata. Instantaneous. The lights go out before his body hits the floor. My eyes snap to the monitor. SpO2, 82%. Damn it. I sprint to my cart, ripping free my eraser kit. Inside, smelling salts, epinephrine, atropine sulfate. Not a cure, but the atropine will block his parasympathetic system, forcing his heart rate up. The AP will kickstart his metabolism, buying time. It's a gamble. A desperate one. But it's all I have. I key the panic room. Star. 4. 8. Star. The door slides back. Cold, recycled air. Blue monitor glow. Server banks humming. Kang lies on the carpet, a fallen statue. Pale gray skin. blue-tinged lips. I drop beside him. His pulse is there, weak, thready. But there. Stay with me. I draw the atropine, tapping out air bubbles. My hands are steady. I find his vein and push the plunger slowly. Nothing. 10 seconds. 20. Then his chest jerks. A gasping inhale. Heart rate spikes. 42. 58. 67. Come on. I grab the AP auto-injector and jam it into his thigh through his suit. Click hiss. His body convulses. His back arches. His eyes fly open, pupils contracting violently. He gasps. Raw. Desperate. And then he's staring at me. Not through me. At me. For the first time in 6 months, Kang Minjun is truly seeing Serafina Thorne. And the look in his eyes isn't gratitude. It's fear. The penthouse has been sanitized. No blood. No bodies. No evidence that 4 men died here. I'd spent 2 days scrubbing, bleaching, disposing. The kind of deep clean that erases history itself. Kong recovered slowly. The paralysis wore off in stages. By the 2nd day, he could sit. By the 3rd, walk. He hasn't said a word to me since he woke up. Now he sits at his desk, signing documents with calm precision, a man who looked death in the face and found it unimpressive. I'm polishing the floors again. Same routine. Same circles. But everything has changed. Serafina. His voice cuts through silence. I don't look up. Yes, Mr. Kong? Stop cleaning. I pause. Come here. I stand slowly, walking to his desk. He doesn't look at me. His eyes stay on the contract. Who are you? I consider lying. But he's earned the truth. My name is Serafina Thorne. I was recruited by the National Intelligence Service 12 years ago. Specialized in deep cover operations and high-value target elimination. I left the agency 3 years ago after a mission went sideways in Pyongyang. He finally looks up. Dark, unreadable eyes. Why are you here? I was hired to watch you. To evaluate whether you were a threat to certain political interests. And? I was supposed to file a report 6 months ago. I didn't. His jaw tightens. Why? I meet his gaze directly. Because I realized the people who hired me were more dangerous than you. Silence. Then he leans back, studying me with the intensity he uses on business rivals. You saved my life. I did. You killed 4 men in my home. 5, if you count Park. You watched me for 6 months. Learned my routines. My codes. My weaknesses. Yes. He stands, moving around the desk with predatory grace. He stops inches from me. Close enough that I smell sandalwood and lingering adrenaline. You could have let me die. I could have. Why didn't you? The question hangs between us. I don't have a clean answer. So I tell him the truth. Because in 6 months, I realized you're not the monster they said. You're ruthless, yes. Dangerous. But you have a code. You protect your people. You don't prey on the weak. I pause. The people who hired me? They have no code. They'd burn down neighborhoods to eliminate a single target. Kill 100 innocents to take out 1 threat. He stares at me. Then, slowly, he smiles. It's not kind. It's the smile of a man who just realized he's holding a weapon far more valuable than he imagined. You're not my maid anymore, Serafina Thorne. No, you're my head of security. Effective immediately. I should refuse. Should walk out and disappear far from Seoul, far from underworld power plays. But I don't. Because somewhere in the chaos, between dragging his paralyzed body to safety and watching him claw back from death's edge, something shifted. I'd stopped being the watcher. I'd started being the protector. And the man before me, the ghost of Gangnam, had looked at me with something I'd never seen in his eyes: trust. 1 condition. He raises an eyebrow. You're negotiating? I want Director Choi. His smile widens. Done. He extends his hand. I look at the scars on his knuckles, the calluses that speak of a man who fought to the top and refuses to fall. I take his hand. His grip is firm, warm, alive. Welcome to the family, Miss Park. And for the first time in 12 years, I feel something dangerous blooming in my chest. Something that feels suspiciously like belonging.